Okay, here we go. Now, this video is for one of my girls. Her name is Kim. The butterfly, is it 596? What is it? Yep, the butterfly 596. And you sent me a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful letter. I appreciate you, Mama. Oh my God. You guys just don't know how that just warms me up and make me feel all fuzzy and teary-eyed and shit. You know what I'm saying? On certain things that you guys say to me. And you guys say the right things at the right time. You know, when I really, really need a little, you know, bitch, get up. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all do for me. And I'm just loving it. And I can't say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. But in your letter, you were asking me, hold on, let me. You were asking me how I cooked that cheesy macaroni, okay? So, it's obvious I can't, you know, show it as I'm doing it. So I'm just going to talk you through it. So I'm hoping that you get the visual based on the way I put it to you on how to put this dish together. Okay. Now, you're going to brown your ground beef. Okay. You brown your ground beef. Now, you do not add, I don't add seasoning, onion, bell pepper, or any of those things to my ground beef until I have poured off the excess grease. And I'm going to tell you why. If you put in all your seasonings and all your onions and bell peppers and shallots or whatever else you season your meat up with, if you put that stuff in there before you pour the grease off, then you're pouring off your excess flavor. So you don't want to do that. So you're going to brown your ground beef. You're going to pour off the grease. Then you're gonna pour it off whereas it's 3/4 of it poured off. Not to the point where now you're starting to burn up your meat. We don't want to burn up the meat, but we want to take enough of that fat off to whereas we're not digesting it. You understand what I'm saying? So about 3/4 of it off. You're gonna pour that off, and it's just a little bit skimming the bottom of the pan, just keeping it, you know, lubricated and all that. So what you want to do is you want to cut up some onion. You can dice up your onion however way it's easier for you. If you're going to hold the onion down, you want to kind of curl your fingers up and then use these knuckles as your guard, you know, to keep you from hitting your fingers. But otherwise, however way is comfortable for you. I'm a lefty, so you know my shit gonna be looking crazy as fuck, and y'all gonna be thinking I'm about to cut my whole hand off the way I hold my knife and things because I'm just a little lefty. So you're gonna dice up your onion. I also like to incorporate bell pepper. So not bell pepper so much to whereas, you know, you just want the taste. So I add that, and then amidst the, you know, browning it and making sure that the bell pepper is done, because you don't want big hunks. Like, I don't like big hunks of celery. I don't like big hunks of onion. I don't like big hunks of bell pepper, you know, stuff like that. I like it for the taste, but not whereas I'm crunching and chomping on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're going to brown this. So you're going to brown this with that already fully cooked ground beef, okay? Or 3/4 of the way cooked ground beef. Whichever way, whatever the get down is. But you still want to have some oil left over because you're going to need that, you know, as this adds to the pot liquor. That's what we want, a real good and rich pot liquor is the whole key. So after we done that, the ground beef is done. The onions, the bell pepper is done. They're soft. You know when onions are done when they become to be almost translucent. They look almost clear, like kind of clear, kind of glossy. That's when you know the onions are soft and they're done. Okay, so now after I've done that, I take a packet of spaghetti mix. You know, the dry packet, McCormick, Kroger's, whatever your get down is, whichever one you want to use. I'm going to add that in there, and I'm going to still, you know, turn over my ground beef. Now, me, I don't like crumbs of meat. So when I'm cooking my ground beef, you know, I kind of leave it kind of hunked up. Whereas, you know, when they take a bite of something, they biting meat and all this kind of good old shit when they eating. You know, not dust of ground beef. I don't do the dust and the crumbs. That's almost like you trying to stretch the shit, to me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn, she coming over, she bringing the kids too? Oh, shit, I ain't got but 3 pounds of ground beef. So that's when you start, you know, making sure it's all finely cut up like some old, you know, Taco Bell meat, Jack in the Box crumb meat. We're not doing crumb meat, okay? So we want to keep some little chunks up in there, though we want them done. But we want to keep some little hunks in there so when they're eating it, they're getting surprises when they bite in there. You know what I'm saying? So there we go. So I personally like 4 cheese from Del Monte. Del Monte and Hunt's, it tastes pretty much the same to me. I haven't been able to differentiate the taste between the two. But I like that tall can of 4 cheese. And what I do is when I cook my spaghetti or this cheesy macaroni that I made, I always cook 4 pounds of ground beef, okay? Because I got a big crew. So, you got to base it on how many motherfuckers is eating. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, so I put the 3 cans in there. And I'm still kind of, turning it over and all that stuff and making sure everything is all in there, all good and on deck. Now, I'm putting on my stock pot of water, a little bit of salt, a little canola, and I'm not going to put my spaghetti in there until it start boiling. You don't put the spaghettis in there until it start boiling. Okay. So now, that's starting to boil. I'm putting in my bag of spaghettis. Usually for me, I think I usually get for that, I think I use the 16 ounce. No, the 28 ounce, I think. But it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers eating. So in your particular case, might not be as many. So, you just gauging it based on how many folks is eating. So then the water is boiled. It has the salt. It has canola oil in it. You put your spaghetti in there, your elbow. Now, for that particular dish, those elbows come in large and they come in regular. Or some might say small. It might just say elbow macaroni, or it might say large elbow macaroni. Whatever the hell. But me, I use the regular or the small elbows because when they get done, they're going to swell up. So they might look like that in the package, but then they get like that when they're done. You know what I'm saying? So you want the elbow regular macaroni. Okay. Now, Auntie, how I know when my spaghettis is done? Well, your spaghettis is done when they become white. They go from that taupe, tannish kind of color to like an off-white. When they get off-white, that's when you want to. Now, you're stirring them a little bit because you don't want them to stick all to the bottom of the pan, and you don't want them to do all of that, okay? Nor do you want to overcook them, because if you overcook them, what's going to happen? It's going to turn to mush. We don't want no mushy ass. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. We want to eat and still have the loop in there. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to put my tongue through the hole of the loop of the macaroni. Yeah. Like that. So, anyway. So, spaghetti or your macaroni is done. You want to rinse off that starch. Rinse it off. And after you done rinsed it off, then now your meat is still kind of simmering. You got the fire down low. You got all your meat and your sauce all blended together. It's all on deck with the packet and all that in there. Now me, I use 2 packets. You might only need 1. But I put 2 packets of I think it's McCormick, the one that I use. Because it has little pieces of mushroom in there. Yeah, I think that's the McCormick. Or is that Lawry's? No, that's McCormick. So I use 2 of those. And then the tried and true Worcestershire sauce. You throw the Worcestershire sauce in there inside of your little meat, the meat hookup, the sauce and all that. We ain't put it all together yet. See, that's still to the side. We just working on the pot liquor, the sauce. You feel me? So now we want to kick that sauce up a notch. And how we going to kick it up, Auntie? Throw a little Worcestershire sauce in there. You throw the Worcestershire sauce in there. You taste it a little bit. If it tastes like it's on deck, okay, we might got to go back to the drawing board.